Hey guys, so today I want to talk about association and why it is such a huge part of not only your persuasive copywriting, but really all of your marketing in general if you want your audience to trust you and eventually take action. So, association is this connection that we have with certain events, ideas, phrases, words based on our personal experiences. Association is extremely important for copywriting because you need to get your prospect basically conditioned to trust you, conditioned to look to you as a solution. In order for you to actually build up the interest and create desire for whatever product or service you're offering, you need to build up this trust and this feeling and association of solving a problem, right? You want your prospect or whoever you're talking to associate you and your brand and whatever you're talking about with success. Associate that with moving on to the next level, solving these deeper problems and these surface level problems that have just been nagging you and bugging you either on a personal standpoint or for your business. If you don't take the time to kind of use some of these words and associations, then when it comes down to either the call to action or the part of your copy where it's going to be more imperative that they either buy in or don't, then it's kind of like they're coming in cold. It's like they're not really conditioned, they're not really in the mode for it to make sense what you're saying when you're asking them to do something, right? There's a really interesting study by a doctor named Gun Samin who studies language, and basically he was trying to figure out what is the purpose of language. A lot of people before him thought that the purpose was to convey a thought or convey an opinion to somebody. But really, what he found out, and it's really cool, is that the purpose of speech isn't to convey an opinion, but is to convey or introduce you to a certain reality. So that means whenever you use words that position your reader or your prospect to win, then that becomes the reality that they're in. That becomes the context that they're going to read the rest of your copy in. That becomes the context that they think of your brand in and your solution in. I'm sure you've seen those motivational posters with just one big word that says succeed or win. And they kind of seem silly, but then you think about association and constantly seeing these words and these signals, subconsciously they trigger this motivation and this rise in whatever productivity, a desire to win, a desire to achieve your goals. It's a very real phenomenon, and it really works and is important to use in your persuasive copy. So we're going to quickly look at two examples. One is a more copy-based example, and it's an example of a website that might not come off as the greatest or the most suave as far as the copy goes, but it's still super effective just because of what I'm talking about, which is the association. So that's the first example. And then the other example is more of a visual association that you can use in your marketing paired with simple copy, but this visual aspect kind of really hammers home this idea of how powerful association can be.
So here we have an example of association using copy to put this idea of success in your prospect's head. So this is Superhuman Entrepreneur. And right away, that brand name is association. Superhuman, right? Superhuman, we have in our mind what superhumans can do, which is achieve what other people can't do. And in the case of this audience and what their offer is, it's going to kind of put this idea, although it's not literally superhuman, it's putting this idea of reaching this new level of success in their head. So that's already using association. And then looking at their headline. Again, this is an example where the copy might not feel as smooth or feel as optimized, but it's very effective, assuming that they did their research on their audience. So skyrocket your health, get more done in less time, transform your energy, focus and flow. Now, as kind of cheesy and generic as this might seem at first glance, skyrocket your health is a perfect metaphor that somebody reading this can immediately associate with success, reaching this new level, growth, etc. Right? Skyrocketing, it doesn't really need explanation, and it kind of says a lot without having to spell out what they're going to do with your health. Same goes for transform your energy. What does transform your energy actually mean? Who knows? But when you say something like this, you have this metaphor, this idea of transformation in your head, and that's exactly kind of what they're selling and what they're promising to their audience. So then as you go through the rest of their website, you already have the idea of transformation, growth, skyrocketing to the top in your head. So they're bringing you into their reality. Now, here's an example of association and from more of a visual standpoint. So this is Urban Misfit Ventures, a really great agency out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And as you first land on their page, rather than overwhelm you with a bunch of copy that says exactly who they are, what they do, and who they do it for, they let this video do the talking for them. So immediately, if you're in their target audience, you're already associating these images, this feel, these type of people with the people that they work with the people that they associate with, right? So you're saying if you see these people that are doing such cool things with this sort of style, this sort of feel, and this sort of energy, you're already associating this with them as their solution, right? So now you're thinking Urban Misfit Ventures, these are my people, I want to work with them, right? So association doesn't have to just be copy. It really applies to the whole situation, the whole experience, especially right when they're first landing on your page, right when they're first seeing your brand. So keeping that association constant with these ideas of success and whatever goals you want to help your prospect achieve is a great way to set the foundation.
So how can you quickly start using association in your own work? Two ways. Number one, I would say, is to use more incidental exposure, meaning use the words that you want your prospect to associate with you as a brand. Show your audience words that are related to the problem and the solution that you are here to help them with. Try and get pretty specific with the words and the goals or the associations that you offer, but at the same time, don't underestimate or underappreciate the ability and the effect of more general positive words. Things like I mentioned, like succeed or win or convert, even though they might seem simple and very generic, just seeing these words early on and throughout your copy, it'll just make that association with winning or reaching the next level, right? It doesn't have to be super complicated or super specific. As long as you can set that mindset in, then they're going to know you're the person to come to when it's time to do good stuff. Another great way to use association in your copy is to use metaphors. So a lot of studies have been done that metaphors are just very easily remembered, and it's a great way to translate or to introduce information that you want your reader to actually remember. Even when we say things like email is dead, we say that because the metaphor is so much more intense than saying, is email not relative in the world of internet marketing, right? It's more powerful to say things like that we have this association, this very specific understanding of. So use that type of language in your marketing, in your copy. But, like I said, be sure that you know that your audience, because if you use the wrong words, then you'll have a negative association, right? Association can be good or bad. So you have to be careful that you associate yourself and the words that you choose with positive things that will achieve your prospects' goals. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you can use association in all of your copy because I think it's very important, very powerful, and a subtle way to just add a little bit more persuasion to everything that you write.